It's hard to quantify someone's achievements from a third-person perspective. You can't read their mind, you don't know their goals, aspirations, or expectations unless they tell you up front. When it comes to racing drivers, especially ones so quiet and reserved, the troubles fans, journalists, and historians can face can be cranked up to 100. But sometimes in life, a person's achievements mean so much to them, their excitement can show through, even some drivers with a war-hardened shell. Racing's quietest have celebrated with friends and family. Racing's quietest have cried tears of joy. Racing's quietest are people too, and when you see them celebrate, you know what they just achieved meant a lot to them. When it comes to Ed Carpenter, you can see the emotion pour through in the 3 times he sat on the pole for the greatest race in the world. He started racing in 2003, but didn't amount to much until 2011. That year, at what would end up being the final IndyCar race of the year, he would score his very first IndyCar win. This would come with Sarah Fisher Racing, the team he would leave at the end of the year to start his own team. The first year as his own boss would be just about the same as his previous year with Sarah Fisher, avoiding DNFs like the plague, getting a win on oval but still stuck in the midfield more often than not. 2013 was his last year full-time in IndyCar, and it was just about the same as last year. The only exception was that his best performance this year was at the Brickyard. The Indy Kid had done it. He would sit on the pole for the 96th running of the Indy 500. In doing so, he became the first American to sit on the pole since Sam Hornish in 2006, and the first owner-driver pole sitter since A.J. Foyt all the way back in 1975. And he got the pole by a fairly big margin for modern standards, getting the pole by nearly half a mile an hour. It was a great achievement, but you know what's even better? He did it again the next year as well. In doing so, he was the first back-to-back pole sitter since Helio Castroneves in 2009 and 2010, and stands as the second most recent back-to-back pole sitter, only being eclipsed by Scott Dixon in 2021 and 2022. After getting 2 back-to-back poles, he would start to run into turbulence with the newer aero kits that were implemented in 2015. He would start 12th and 20th for the next 2 runnings of the Indy 500, but then come back to the front in 2017, starting 2nd. 1 year later, there's once again a refresh with the car's design and driving dynamics, but this time he would adapt quite well and get pole number 3. For as long as I've been following IndyCar, there's been rumors that Ed Carpenter will retire, but as the years go on, I start to downplay them more and more. He loves driving, he loves racing, and he loves the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I could genuinely see Ed racing at the Indy 500 for years to come. But regardless of if he drives into his 50s or retires tomorrow, he's left a mark on IndyCar history. He's qualified for the Indy 500. He's sat on the pole not once but 3 times. It's an achievement that not only meant a lot to Ed, but the Indianapolis locals as well. He might not be a champion, but the Indianapolis Motor Speedway history books will forever remember Ed Carpenter as a hometown pole sitter. Thank you for watching, and have a great afternoon.